Strategic alliance. A strategic alliance, also see strategic partnership, is an agreement between two or more parties to pursue a set of agreed-upon objectives needed while remaining independent organizations. A strategic alliance will usually fall short of a legal partnership entity, agency, or corporate affiliate relationship. Typically, two companies form a strategic alliance when each possesses one or more business assets or have expertise that will help the other by enhancing their businesses. Strategic alliances can develop in outsourcing relationships where the parties desire to achieve long-term win-win benefits and innovation based on mutually desired outcomes. This form of cooperation lies between mergers and acquisitions and organic growth. Strategic alliances occur when two or more organizations join together to pursue mutual benefits. Partners may provide the strategic alliance with resources such as products, distribution channels, manufacturing capability, project funding, capital equipment, knowledge, expertise, or intellectual property. The alliance is a cooperation or collaboration which aims for a synergy where each partner hopes that the benefits from the alliance will be greater than those from individual efforts. The alliance often involves technology transfer, access to knowledge and expertise, economic specialization, shared expenses and shared risk. Definitions and discussion. There are several ways of defining a strategic alliance. Some of the definitions emphasize the fact that the partners do not create a new legal entity, i.e. a new company. This excludes legal formations like joint ventures from the field of strategic alliances. Others see joint ventures as possible manifestations of strategic alliances. Some definitions are given here. Definitions including joint ventures. Definitions excluding joint ventures. Terminology. Various terms have been used to describe forms of strategic partnering. These include international coalitions, Porter and Fuller, 1986, strategic networks, Girillo, 1988, and, most commonly, strategic alliances. Definitions are equally varied. An alliance may be seen as the joining of forces and resources, for a specified or indefinite period, to achieve a common objective. There are 7 general areas in which profit can be made from building alliances. Typology. Some types of strategic alliances include Michael Porter and Mark Fuller, founding members of the Monitor Group, now Monitor Deloitte, draw a distinction among types of strategic alliances according to their purposes. Further kinds of strategic alliances include historical development of strategic alliances. Some analysts may say that strategic alliances are a recent phenomena in our time. In fact, collaborations between enterprises are as old as the existence of such enterprises. Examples would be early credit institutions or trade associations like the early Dutch guilds. There have always been strategic alliances, but in the last couple of decades the focus and reasons for strategic alliances has evolved very quickly. In the 1970s, the focus of strategic alliances was the performance of the product. The partners wanted to attain raw material at the best quality at the lowest price possible, the best technology and improved market penetration, while the focus was always on the product. In the 1980s, strategic alliances aimed at building economies of scale and scope. The involved enterprises tried to consolidate their positions in their respective sectors. During this time the number of strategic alliances increased dramatically. Some of these partnerships lead to great product successes like photocopiers by Canon sold under the brand of Kodak, or the partnership of Toshiba and Motorola whose joining of resources and technology lead to great success with microprocessors. In the 1990s, geographical borders between markets collapsed and new markets were enterable. High requirements for the companies lead to the need for constant innovation for competitive advantage. The focus of strategic alliance is relocated on the development of capabilities and competencies. Goals of strategic alliances. Advantages/disadvantages. Advantages. For companies there are many reasons to enter a strategic alliance. Further advantages of strategic alliances. Disadvantages. Disadvantages of strategic alliances include success factors. The success of any alliance very much depends on how effective the capabilities of the involved enterprises are matched and whether the full commitment of each partner to the alliance is achieved. There is no partnership without trade-offs, but the benefits of it must preponderate the disadvantages, because alliances are made to fill gaps in each other's capabilities and capacities. Poor alignment of objectives, performance metrics, and a clash of corporate cultures can weaken and constrain the effectiveness of the alliance effectiveness. Some key factors that have to be considered to be able to manage a successful alliance include further important factors. Risks. Using and operating strategic alliances does not only bring chances and benefits. There are also risks and limitations that have to be taken in consideration. Failures are often attributed to unrealistic expectations, lack of commitment, cultural differences, strategic goal divergence and insufficient trust. Some of the risks are listed below. The dark side of strategic alliances has received increasing attention across different management fields, such as business ethics, marketing, and supply chain management. The term dark side has been broadly used to refer to the risks and negative dimensions of strategic alliances, which range from detrimental outcomes to ill-intended behaviors or unethical practices. Common mistakes. Many companies struggle to operate their alliances in the way they imagined it, and many of these partnerships fail to reach their defined goals. Some common mistakes are: importance of strategic alliances. Strategic alliances have developed from an option to a necessity in many markets and industries. Variation in markets and requirements leads to an increasing use of strategic alliances. It is of essential importance to integrate strategic alliance management into the overall corporate strategy to advance products and services, enter new markets and leverage technology and research and development. Nowadays, global companies have many alliances on inland markets as well as global partnerships, sometimes even with competitors, which leads to challenges such as keeping up competition or protecting own interests while managing the alliance. So nowadays managing an alliance focuses on leveraging the differences to create value for the customer, dealing with internal challenges, managing daily competition of the alliance with competitors and risk management, which has become a company-wide concern. The percentage of revenues for the top 1,000 U.S. public corporations generated by strategic alliances increased from 3 to 6% in the 1990s to 40% in 2010, which shows the fast-changing necessity to align in partnerships. The number of equity-based alliances has dramatically increased in the last couple of years, whereas the number of acquisitions has decreased by 65% since the year 2000. For a statistically examination, over 3,000 announced alliances in the USA have been reviewed in the years 1997 to 1997, and results showed that only 25% of these alliances were equity-based. In the years 2000 to 2002, this percentage increased up to 62% equity-based alliances among 2,500 newly formed alliances. Life cycle of a strategic alliance. Analysis and selection. In the analysis phase, performance goals for the partnership are defined. These goals are used to determine the broad operational capabilities that will be required. In the selection phase, those performance goals are used as some of the criteria to evaluate and select potential alliance partners. The activities most often associated with the analysis phase are. The activities most often associated with the selection phase are: formation. Forming a strategic alliance is a process which usually implies some major steps that are mentioned below. Operation. In this phase in the life of a strategic alliance, an internal structure occurs under which its functions develop. While operating it, the alliance becomes an own new organization itself, with members from the origin companies, with the aim of meeting all previously set objectives and improving the overall performance of the alliance, which requires effective structures and processes and a good, strong and reliable leadership. Budgets have to be linked, as well as resources which are strategically most important, and the performance of the alliance has to be measured and assessed. Alliance structuring and governance. This phase focuses on creating frameworks both legally and organizational for the strategic alliance relationship, on agreeing and finalizing operational plans, making sure that key leadership is in place, and creating a formula for risk and reward that will motivate both parties to make the relationship a success. This phase ends with the contract being signed. Steps include end/development. There are several ways that a strategic alliance can come to an end,